Welcome to part 5 of Miracles Kept Secret, Breaking the Silence about Childhood Supernatural Encounters. This week I'm continuing on the last 3 of my participants, and these particular participants, among with those that I mentioned last week, experienced light phenomena in their encounters. This participant's name is Maxie. That's the pseudonym she chose. She was 52 years of age when she took part in my research, and she was 5 years old when she had her experience. She's non-Indigenous American. Growing up, she was an atheist, Protestant, Native American. These were the different spiritual traditions and religions that she tried out, I suppose. And then at the time of the research, she was actually a pagan. She wrote about her experience that, she was feeling pretty down. So this is what she said. Feeling so low, I sat on the floor. Suddenly, a bright light shone from under the bed. A beam of pure yellow, orange, and gold light shone through me. As the light moved and enveloped me, I felt warm and tingly. The light flowed into forming the being of Christ with intense dark eyes. Slowly, he rose from the space under the bunk bed. As he rose, I rose with him. When I was suspended in the air, Christ held me inside and outside. I was one with Christ. As we were fused together, colors of green, of blue, orange, purple, red, and yellow swirled around me and inside me. As the colors enveloped me, we moved with the wind that was blowing through the oak tree outside. Finally, Christ gently lowered me to the top bunk bed. Then he let go of me and said, "Goodbye for now. I will be here forever." Then Christ faded. For a long time, I laid there feeling love and comfort. Now, when she had described this to me, and she had told me that she was literally lifted from the floor onto the top bunk bed in her bedroom, and that she was laying on the top bunk bed, and that Christ put her there. So this was really interesting that she had contact with him, and that she actually moved from the floor to the top bunk bed. He lifted her to put her there. That was pretty amazing to me. She also said that it was such a profound experience that it was hard to handle emotionally. Now, she was 5 years old at that time, but it was so intense. She started to develop mental health issues, emotional problems, but she never really talked about it. She held it to herself. And it's just one of those cases where when something is so profound, the reaction to it can be like trauma. And this is one of those situations. This is really the only situation among my participants, or the only participant among all of them, who had this kind of experience where she was overwhelmed, and that it really affected her in a way afterwards where she just couldn't handle it. And she didn't really state that she was afraid to tell. I'm not sure if that was the case or not, but she held it in. And it was something to her that was just too sacred and personal, but it was so overwhelming that I don't know if it would have helped or not, to be honest with you, because the majority of the time when people have these kinds of encounter experiences, whether it be with a religious apparition or some other encounter experience, it's something that people don't believe when the experiencer discloses. So then that just provides more trauma. So I don't know if it was better or worse for her not to have disclosed about her experience. But she did suffer from the intensity of it. She said when she disclosed when she was adult. When I was an adult, I was talking to a coworker who had told me about his spiritual experiences. Before that, I felt it was too private to tell. When I did tell him, he wanted to know more. I couldn't really express it since I did not think in totally Christian terms. Now, again, this is when she was an adult and a practicing pagan. It was very interesting. My next participant chose the pseudonym Melissa. She was 55 years of age when she took part in the study, and she was 3 years of age when she had her experience. She's non-Indigenous American. She was raised Catholic, and she's uses nature spirituality now as an adult. Nature spirituality is similar to the pagan tradition. Her experience was that when she was 3, she had a 1.5-year-old sister, and they were in the back. I guess the yard wasn't fenced, and her parents told her, a 3-year-old, to watch her 1.5-year-old sister. Well, the 1.5-year-old, I don't know if she just darted across the yard and went right into an alley in the back, and a truck came barreling through and hit her and killed her. They, had to call the police and all of that. So she wrote about her experience. When riding in the police car with my father, who is holding MC, her sister, draped across his lap and in his arms with no movement of life from her. I am sitting between the policeman and my father holding my sister. It was a silent ride. MC, her sister, never moved at all until I saw a beautiful man clothed in all white come forth from above me in the sky. The sky is blue with some clouds. A loving face appears on this man, a comforting look. He is to my right, and he is God. I knew instantly who he was. The vision is so vivid. He is in all white flowing garb with brown shoulder-length hair. The emphasis is his hands reaching towards my sister. Then the hands appear. My sister is gently transferred from my father to this beautiful person. They return together, meshing into the brightness of light above me, off to my right. The actual transfer is not seen by my eyes. It is knowingness and something I just understand in my heart. He made that perfectly clear to me. So she did this piece of art. And what I love about this person is she'd never done art before or any kind of craft project. And so she was a little trepidatious about the requirement to do an art project before writing the spiritual autobiography. And this is what she created, which I thought was the sweetest thing. I absolutely cherish this photograph because she stepped through her fear because she wanted to express. And I loved how she emphasized the hands in this because that's what she saw reaching out for her sister. Is really, really something. As an adult, she said she didn't keep it a secret, just thought it was a normal occurrence. Now she's only 3, so how would she know the difference? Finally told my father when I was in my late 20s. She did not emphasize on his reaction. This last participant chose the pseudonym of Carol, and she was 70 years old at the time she took part in my study, and she was 10 years old when she had her experience. This woman took a long time to do her art. And I was really concerned because it was taking long and I needed to have everything in so I could start my data analysis. And, I wanted to graduate. I wanted to graduate in June. And she was continuing to do this throughout the spring. And I needed to get it in. And I was really concerned. And she kept writing me back about how she couldn't find the right paint to illustrate the light. And so we went back and forth writing, and she wrote me and she goes, I finally found it. I found the paint. And so that's the white. And what she wanted was pearlescent paint, not glitter, sparkly paint, but pearlescent paint. so that it would demonstrate the quality of the light that she saw, how it looked to her. So this one is really kind of incredible. And she described that what she saw was it wasn't a picture. She saw the Virgin Mary and the baby and Joseph, Mary and Joseph and the baby is what she saw. And the light emanated from them. And I'll read what she had said. All of a sudden, my whole room was filled with the most amazing light, brighter and clearer than any light I have seen before or since. It was radiant. It was coming from a picture on my wall across the room from my bed. The most amazing light, bright and clearer than the sun on the whitest sand, the harvest moon rising, all the spotlights on a rock group in concert. The picture was a nativity scene, Mary, Jesus, Joseph in a cave and maybe a stable. I think there might have been some animals around, but that was not where the light was coming from. It came from the Holy Family. They were radiating the light that filled my room. I was awestruck. Now, I was wrong. It was from a picture, but she said that the family in the picture were actually lifelike in her apparition, in her experience. And the light was emanating from them. The interesting part about this woman is that she see a child in a bed. The bed isn't like she was doing this at night. This woman had contracted polio, and she had leg paralysis when she was a little kid. And so she was pretty much bedridden. It was during this time of confinement when she had polio that she had this experience. And I asked her if she had disclosed, and she said she did as a child. I told my mother, since when she opened the door to my room, the experience stopped. I do not remember that she had any specific response. So she doesn't remember if it was, positive, negative, or indifferent, like, yeah, okay, whatever, go back to sleep, or, read your book, or whatever it might have been. I wanted to add to the end of this, because this is the end of the Miracles Kept Secret series. And there's something to the quality of light that crosses over from religious apparitions to near-death experiences to alien encounters. And in my next video, I'll be talking about those and comparing those, and also using some of the quotes from experiencers of alien encounters and experiencers of religious apparitions and experiencers of near-death experience. So I will have that for you in next week, and it'll be a new video. This is the end of this series, and thank you so much. I'm so glad that you stopped by to listen and watch and learn more about my research and learn more about what people have experienced, and a lot of them are not telling anybody about it.